Hi guys, how are you? I am putting water, sorry, that disappeared for a second. I'm putting water in Milo's pool, and he likes me splashing him with the hose, so he's going to be insisting on bugging me with the hose. Go on now. Anyway, and the pool's in great shape. I showed it to y'all last year. It's in great shape. It was a smart investment. There's going to be a few days this week where it's going to be in the hundreds, okay? Yeah. Look at me. Do I look excited? Because I'm not. Anyway, so we're going to have a little chit chat about the forbidden talk in regards to some men in church. But before we go there, I want to show you this. Let's have a gemstone lesson. It'll be quick. Let me show you this beautiful stone. It's called rhyolite. Sometimes it is called rainforest jasper, okay? Rainforest jasper. And what it is it's an igneous rock. So it's a rock that is formed from, it's not a mineral as much as it's a rock, but a lot of times it does have jasper in it, or agate. And it's just beautiful. It is a rock, and it is formed from magma, which is what comes out of the volcano when it erupts. And because gems are formed from minerals, minerals are created by excessive heat. So you will have the jasper, or not the jasper, you'll have the igneous rock, which is created from the magma. And then it will also be, this will be filled in with agate or jasper or something similar. So if you look up rainforest jasper, you will see that it's called, the actual name is called rhyolite, which is rhyolite, rhyolite, I believe. And it will explain to you more about its what it's made of and how it's a rock as opposed to a mineral, but it can have minerals in it and that kind of thing. I also want to show you my fingers, which are French manicure that I did without guides. So without guides, I think they're pretty dang good. The guides are where you put the sticker across your nail and then you paint the white on top. And I didn't have any guides, so I had to order some. So anyway, let's get to the topic at hand. We did our little gemstone lesson, rhyolite, also known as rainforest jasper, and it can contain jasper and agate and other minerals. All right, so anyway, men in church, okay? This isn't really, this is my personal experience. Nobody wants to talk about this. You know me, I'm gonna go there because I'm gonna talk about what people know, but they pretend they don't see, or they don't acknowledge it. All right. So basically, Leon, who is another narcissist, he's self-aware. He is on YouTube. And he talked about how when he was hardcore narcissist, he went there to flirt with women, pick up women. When the women are singing their gospel songs, he would be watching them bebopping and this and that, and he watched their breasts jiggling because his mind was in the wrong place, you know. And we talked about how narcissists will have inappropriate thoughts. I'm pretty sure pastors know this. I mean, come on, especially if they've been a pastor long enough, they know that this is not an unfamiliar thing to happen. All right. So when people tell you, your grandma and your great grandma say, you need to get you a good man in church or a good woman in church, that's not the best advice you could get. All right. The biggest predators are in church, okay? The biggest predators are in church. I distinctly remember there was one person who was trying to mac me in church. Well, That's not an uncommon occurrence in a person of color church. You know, you're dealing with chocolate folks, and some of them are up to no good. And they go to church to mac women. I've never experienced that in a predominantly white church. I've only experienced that in a predominantly chocolate church. Okay? I'm not saying white guys in a white church are not thinking that way. You damn straight they are, but they're not going to be as obvious about it. Okay? Usually. I've not experienced that. But I remember this one particular individual who was trying to mac women in church. And what happened was I was standing there having a conversation with somebody, and he decided to wink at me when I glanced in his direction. Number one, I don't know this person from a can of paint. Number two, why are you winking at me? I don't know you. Me and this other person could be talking about someone who passed away. And you sitting there winking? Okay. Another person who was trying to mac me in church was a dude that, and I hate this question. I hate it with a passion because you're approaching the person all wrong from the get. All right. One of the few things out of one of the first things I should say out of his mouth was, do you cook? I hate that question. I hate that question because, again, you're approaching wrong. You're approaching with your hand out. Like, what can I get from you right out the gate? I've already been thinking about making you say, oh God, in the bed. I've already had that thought in my head. Now I'm thinking, well, shoot, after all that, and I'm tired, can I get a hot meal? I'm going to get a hot tail and a hot meal. And so it got to the point where I got tired of that, and especially when I was relocating and I needed help. Honey, you're a magician. You could make people disappear so fast. When you say you're relocating, baby, people will dis-a-freaking-peer. You understand? You heard? Disappear in a puff of smoke. All right? And it's not just people in church. It's anywhere. They just vanish. So that was a turnoff too, because I've been a member of that particular church for a very, very long time. The other church I was a member of many years ago, they're racist, but we're not going to go there. If y'all want to hear that story, you know, make a comment in the comment section below the video. But, you know, that's not really the topic at the moment. But anyway, so, come here. So yeah, can you cook? Yeah, I could cook. But do I like to tell people? No, because like I said, you approach them with your hands out. What can I get? Women like to eat too. And no, I'm not coming to your house if I don't know you. So you could just forget about that, you know. And dudes will say stuff like, well, we could watch a movie or something. The emphasis is on or something, okay? Now, I'm not against, you know, I'm not a prude. I'm not against being intimate with someone that you love. It's a mutual thing. Obviously, that's a part of life, right? It's warm. But to be doing it with random strangers, that's not going to fly. Okay, you're hunting. I'm not a deer. I don't like to be hunted. I'm not a rabbit. I don't like to be hunted. Some women think it's great. It turns them on. They get excited. I'm not one of them, so back off me, okay? But yeah, that's a common thing. Dudes act like they came to God and they turned their life around, and you know, I want to share my testimony and and you don't get a testimony without a test and ... and this, that, Okay, well that sounds good in theory, but what's the real reason you're here? Because you scoping out women, you deliberately, when there's we have a lunch at the church or whatever, you deliberately sitting next to people that you got the hots for, asking them can they cook and all that. So obviously You're pretending that you're into God, or you're coming to church because that's what people are proud to hear you say, that you're going to church. Oh, you love God, you go to church. Well, that's real good. That's nice. That's real good. But little do they know you have ulterior motive. Not everybody in church has ulterior motive. Let me repeat that before somebody says something dumb in the comments and I'll get really irritated. Not everybody in church is going there for phony reasons, right? And for to get to benefit from somebody, take something from somebody. But that's not an uncommon thing. And because men of color are so, I don't want to say aggressive, but there's no other, very aggressive about the pursuit, it's not uncommon for them to almost have their tongue out when they go to church. And it becomes very, very evident the real reason why you in church. It doesn't have nothing to do with your relationship with God as much as it has to do with your relationship with you trying to get women, okay? And women are going to pick up on that, and they're going to get tired of it. I'm just going to keep it real with you. They're going to get tired of that, okay? So nobody talks about this at all. I wish that boys in general, women in particular, women too, I wish that they would teach their children when they're old enough to ask questions about, sex and love and how is a baby made and all that. That's a good opportunity to teach them how to have self-control. Teach them about once you reach a certain age, your hormones are going to rage and you're going to want to do crazy things. I am sweating so bad. You're gonna have to exercise control. You don't use your body as a weapon to take someone against their will. You do not approach people with perpetrating one facade. Okay, you're perpetrating that you're this when you're actually this. People are gonna find out that you have ulterior motives, and they're gonna be turned off by that. It's just not cool. All right, I'm gonna have y'all gotta give me a second so I can turn this hose off. All right, I'll be right back. Milo, you gonna get in your pool? You're gonna get in your pool? Good boy, good boy. You're gonna dirty up that sparkling clean pool that I got going on. But okay, I'll get over it, I'm sure. Wait. Come here. Okay. All right. Lay down. He had he's actually laying in his pool. But when I want to take a picture, thanks, Milo. When I want to take a picture, he makes it a point to get up and no longer lay down in the pool, which is really fun. So, yeah, I think when they're old enough to ask questions, how's a baby made? Like I said, age-appropriate responses, of course. It's a good opportunity to teach them to have self-control, to respect other people, regardless of your desires, regardless of, and obviously if the person has something going on with them, like narcissistic, obviously they need therapy for, other things, lying and cheating and, just deceiving people for your own benefit and all that. There's just so much that goes with it because it's a personality disorder. It's a character disorder. Okay. And the only way that can be fixed is through therapy and through a desire to fix it. The person has to have a strong desire to fix it. But yeah, women are going to get tired of that. They're going to get tired of being hunted. They're going to develop the attitude that, I don't have to go to church to talk to God. I can talk to God anywhere at any time. And again, I got turned off when people disappeared when I needed to relocate, and I needed as many hands on deck as possible. And people were like, pew, gone. Unless they need to relocate, then that's a different story. It's always a different story. Anyway, another thing, and I've talked about this before, another thing that's despicable in church is women who are supposed to be so holy, and you come to church all the time, by yourself, looking good, because you go to church looking good. You don't go in there looking like you just stayed in the bar all night long with your hair all crazy and your makeup all crazy or a dirty shirt on or whatever. You go there looking presentable usually. Well, because I look the way I do, not today, I'm in my tomboy mode, but when I, do hair and makeup and all that, I'm not too shabby. And women who have a man, women who are married can't stand that because now if I was, 5'2", 450 pounds with three eyes, one of my eyes in the middle of my forehead with gigantic warts all over my face and my face disfigured, well then shit, they wouldn't care if their husband talked to me. But when you look a certain way, they automatically jump into insecure mode. This woman is single coming to church, and I know she gonna take my husband. You know what? You got a problem in your head. You got a serious problem. If you are that insecure, you have no business being married. You don't trust other people, and you don't trust your spouse. So, what kind of marriage do you have? I'm just wondering. Relationships are built on trust. So on one hand, you're so pious and you hold your Bible to your heart and thank you Jesus and thank you Lord and this and that and I'm so holy. And then you cut in your eyes at women just because of how they look and because they're coming to church single. Bitch, I don't want your husband. Did I go there? Yes, I did. I don't want your damn husband. Okay? Because if somebody could take your man from you, he wasn't your man in the first place. Now that's church. Now we gonna have church up in here. Church up in here. I don't want your damn husband, bitch. And what you sitting up here acting holy, but then you cutting your eyes at me and you have never had a conversation with me. You never said, hey, how you doing? But you so holy and you bow your head in prayer. And you so connected to Jesus. Sit your phony ass down, okay? You're phony and you're insecure. You got head trips going on that therapy can resolve. You after church, the following Monday, you need to make a therapy appointment. Okay? You need to make a therapy appointment. That's what you need to do. So that's another thing that I had to deal with at the funky ass church. I had to deal with, not everybody is an awful person of every church I've ever been to, but this is the kind of shit that's very common. I'm just going to keep it real with you. This is common. She thinks she all that. She want my husband. Wow. You've got some serious psychological problems. You really do. Because let me explain you something. My first husband is very, 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 very handsome. Okay? But our communication was non-existent. And he was aloof, distant, emotionally distant. Do you think that makes for a strong marriage? It does not. He was best friends. We're going to go there today. He was best friends with Al B. Sure. Okay? The one, I can't think of his song off the top of my head. I can't think of it. All of a sudden, you want me back. I can't think of the name of that song. What you think, you dope on a rope? Nope. What, I'm supposed to sweat you? I'm supposed to let you run all over me? Zero on a strength. That's I'll Be Sure. Okay, that's one of his songs. Anyway, and he was best friends with him. When I went out with my husband, when we were together, women would be all over him because they knew he was connected to Al B. Sure, and at that time Al was getting his career off the ground, and coupled with the fact that he's so good looking, they figured, well, hey, I'll rub up on him, not literally, but I'll just smooze with him, and then he could connect me to Al B. Sure, or they want to flirt with my husband because he's fine anyway. So if I can't have Al, I could have you because you fine. I mean, he was a very handsome man. But that's not enough to keep a relationship going. It really isn't, or we'd still be together. Anyway, women were all over him. Did I trip? No, I didn't trip off of it. I was like, you know what? I'm thinking to myself, enjoy it, get yourself in a tizzy. That's cool because he's going home with me. So I'm not insecure like that. I'm not assuming just because of how he looks that I was going to lose him. We lost each other for different reasons. Like I said, lack of communication. He wasn't affectionate. He wasn't attentive. He was absent. And after 6 years, I couldn't do it anymore. But I wasn't insecure because, oh, well, he's fine. So I know all these women want him. That's something psychologically wrong with you. And like I said, if you're secure with who the hell you are, you're not going to trip like that no matter how fine your partner is. And let me tell you something else. I'm going to tell you what one of my dear friends told me. Get out of there. Hey, get out of there. So anyway, one of my friends told me, he's known me since I was 18. My grandmother made me go out on a date with him back in the day. We're just friends, but back in the day, she was trying to merge us together because she knows that he's a good person. But she told me, and you're not going to argue with your grandma unless you want to get smacked upside the head. You're not going to argue with your grandma. She said, go upstairs and put on something nice. You're going out with, we'll call him Dave. You're going out with Dave. And, you know, I was in my 20s back then, and I used to model and all this other business. And so my friend told me, he said, one thing that I really loved about going out with you, besides the fact that you're beautiful, he said, I love the fact that you look so good, and every man in the place was staring you down like, I want a piece of that. He said, I loved every minute of it. He didn't trip. He didn't get an attitude. I had on his favorite color is blue, and I didn't do it on purpose. It was something I chose I found it and I put it on. It was a silky dark blue dress, like electric blue dress with satiny material. I can't really describe it, but it was like a mini dress. But it was classy. It wasn't something that grandma would say, oh no, you take that off. You better change it to something else. It wasn't like that. I don't dress like that, okay? Anyway, he loved it. You know, he loved it. Men were like, oh, damn. I have seen guys do that when I have, makeup, hair, dressed nice and everything. I've seen men with their wives even stare me down when I walk in a restaurant. I don't pay no attention to that. I don't trip off of that. I don't trip off of it. I mean, eat your heart out, whatever makes you happy, I suppose. I'm not interested in people that gawk at me anyway. So if you want to lose with me right out the gate, stare at me like I'm steak on a plate. That makes me lose interest because I've been dealing with that my whole life. Milo, get down here. Get down here. So yeah, I mean, that, like I said, that's something in your head. If you just think that because of the way your partner looks, you're going to automatically lose them. That's like I said, it's insecurity in your head. And if you are going to lose them because of how they look and they're not faithful, that's a bigger issue. Okay? That's a bigger issue. Grasshopper is in his, and I don't want to touch him because you know what? I just don't dig that. Anyway. So yeah, if you're that insecure, that's a problem with you. And if you're insecure because your partner is unfaithful, that's a bigger problem. You've got some decisions to make. Okay, everybody don't want your damn man. Let me just get that straight and stop perpetrating that you're so close to God, because God is all about love. Let me say that freaking again. God is all about love, not jealousy and anger and she thinks she's all that. How are you going to sit there and perpetrate that you holy and you have a strong connection with God, and you're letting his peace enter your mind, body, heart, and soul, and then you cutting your eyes at somebody because of how they look? Get your soul right. Get your soul right, heifer, because you got some problems up in here that you need to go to therapy for. Okay? All right. Y'all be good. Let me get this dang grasshopper out of his pool. I'm going to take a picture of the pool as a thumbnail because I want to show you guys. I showed the pool to you last year, and I want to show it to you again to show you it doesn't have any wear and tear, really. It's It's wonderful. It's one of the smartest investments I made because Missouri can be extremely hot. Obviously, Milo has on a fur coat all year round, and he lays in it all the time. He jumps in it all the time. He absolutely loves it, and I don't want him to obviously get heat stroke or heat exhaustion or anything of that nature, so I make sure I keep him cool. So I'll take a picture of him and use it. Like I said, I'll use it as a thumbnail. All right, much love to you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and check you next time. Bye.